What up, everybody? I am back. We got another live stream. This one, special edition. We're talking basketball. We're talking Jordan versus LeBron. We got Sean in the house, aka Jones in for sports. What's up, bro?
What's going on, brother? Glad to be back on here. It's been a while, but I'm glad to be back with you, brother.
Hell yeah. During the season, I'm sure we'll get some more live streams going as well. So,
Absolutely.
well, first, before we get into it, I'm going to give Jones in for sports the stage a little bit to talk about his Knicks because I know he's still hyped about that.
Oh, absolutely. This high is gonna last for a very long time. At least until the next champion is crowned. I'm definitely gonna be celebrating until then because it's been a very, very long wait. But just to wrap that up quickly, it was a very special win. To win the championship was very special for us, not just because we won it, but because how we won it. Coming into the
What up,
season,
Corey?
there was pressure on us for to at least make the finals, and we went through the season. We looked a little rough at times. There was moments where I thought myself, all right, I don't know if we're gonna make it this year. Like we just don't look like it. But they kept fighting. They kept, figuring out new ways to make this team be good, and it finally clicked after game 3 in the first round against the Hawks. After that game, we just looked like a complete different team, and it was beautiful. We put belt to ass to everybody. Pretty much had a historic comeback win in game 4 in the finals, and it was the shortest guy against the biggest guy, and the shortest guy won. So it just the way they won really represented how New York is. So that I think that's why it was so special. Not you know not alone the weight that we had 53 years. So it was
Yeah.
special. Yes, I cried like a baby, and I wasn't ashamed of it. I probably cried for a couple of days after that. I'm not even gonna lie. If I look at a highlight, there was tears coming out of my eyes. So, but yeah, still on the high, and New York is where. That's the other thing. New York has never been this happy before. We're so used to coming together for bad news. 9/11, Sandy, COVID. Well, we know what COVID is now,
I was
but
gonna say, when's New York ever been happy? Like I just feel like New
exactly.
Yorkers in general, you are ornery, you're stubborn, and hella just
Yes,
hate people in general.
yes, we are. We just had that on our backs because of everything that we just deal with on the daily. But this is the first time that we came together to be happy for something. Like
There
during
you
even
go.
before we won it, just the run. The last few years has been very special. Even last year, even though we didn't bring it home last year, it was you can feel the energy in the city. And to
Yeah.
bring it again, bring it back this year and actually complete it with a championship, like there's nothing more happier than I that any Knick fan can be. So I'm excited and I can't wait to see what this team can continue to do going forward.
And you know what I will say? Beating the Spurs, I mean, that's I don't know if that's ever been easy since like, the Duncan Robinson days. Like I don't know if it's ever been easy to beat the Spurs, especially in a championship. And like everyone kind of jumps out of the window for the different GOAT debates and like Wemby, kind of like the next future GOAT they're already talking about like after LeBron. This is already a stain on his GOAT resume.
Absolutely, absolutely. For me, I still think he's a great player. And
Yes,
he's
for
going
sure.
to have a great career. But
Yeah.
this playoffs, not only because obviously he played us, but how he handled himself throughout this playoff
Yeah.
rubbed me the wrong way. I don't want to call him a dirty player, but he had some dirty moments, and
Yeah.
the way he handled himself in the press conference and all those things rubbed me the wrong way. And it seems like he's really trying to get into that villain thing, which is dope. That's cool, but do it the right way. I think there's a way
Yeah.
of being a villain without crossing the line, and I think he crossed the line a few times this playoffs.
Yeah, and it's kind of tough because like you really can't be a villain. Like now, I guess if you're just good and like you're not on the team that everyone's liking, you're the villain. But like, you know, when I think of villains, I just think of the bad boy Pistons, and like he
Yeah,
ain't that
exactly.
he ain't that tough. Like I know
Right.
that it'd be breaking a bunch of rules, also doing that shit, but you could still commit like tough fouls. You might get a tech here or there, but I feel like he, for as big as he is, I mean, he's really soft, man. I mean, that's how I
Yeah,
feel.
he's got to put some weight on his body, because the fact that big body Brunson handled him pretty much. Anybody, a cat, when us as New York Knicks fans, we were calling Cat soft. We're like, dude, you don't, all you want to do is shoot threes. You never want to get in the paint. But Cat took the challenge. He took the challenge and went right at him, dunked on him a few times, instead of shooting threes, he took him to the rim. Like, we really exposed Wemby as a non-physical athlete. He's tall as shit and he's going to get his blocks, but being physical, that's not his game. And that's kind of the knocks that was on KD. KD's tall. He's a great offensive player. He can shoot. He can do all those great things. But if you get physical with him, then he starts to have some trouble.
KD's hella soft, man. And I mean, I know that, he's got 2 championships, and Westbrook, he doesn't have any. But if KD just would have let Russ be the alpha, I don't know, maybe they beat Golden State in that game 7 way back then. I mean, that's what made me stop paying attention to basketball when they lost game 7. I mean, I don't think anyone thought that they didn't have a chance. I mean, it was already going to game 7. KD just turned into a little bitch. But then he leaves and goes there, and I was like, man, see, this is why NBA sucks now, is because dude, you got an incredible team that was 1 win away from potentially winning the championship, because I think whatever team came out was gonna win. And yeah, man, it's just, and that's one of the reasons why I hate on LeBron as well too. And that'll just be my first intro. And I know it's there's 2 sides to this argument, but all the people who we ever considered the greatest of all time, they didn't jump from team to team. It was never a thing until LeBron.
And I 1000% understand and respect that. Especially a lot of the old school, old head basketball fans, they really respect the guys that stayed and did it that way. I totally respect that, and I understand that. But at the same time, for my argument for LeBron leaving Cleveland was he wasn't going to win there. He had to leave because he saw what he did in 07. He carried that team there. That team had no business being there, but they got there. He saw after that, they kept getting bounced in the second round to Cleveland or Detroit. He knew he didn't have help. Nobody wanted to come over there because it's Cleveland. Yeah, they knew who LeBron was, but I think the other argument for why people didn't want to go to Cleveland, because I'm not saying you're making this argument, but a lot of MJ fans say, well, if you're the best, you should stay there and guys should want to come to you.
What up, TJ?
I understand that too. But you also got to understand this part of it. LeBron at that moment, he's already being, he wasn't being put in the GOAT conversation. Actually, no.
He was called King James as a rookie. He wasn't called the GOAT, but the King James nickname was there.
That was early. He was a rookie. He had the chosen one. That was ESPN. That's a lot. A lot of people put that on him. The ESPN gave him that name first, and that's why he got it tatted on his backpack. On his
for sure, the most hyped athlete ever coming out of high school. Most hyped. That's not even debatable.
Yeah, that's not even close. It's one he was talked about since he was 16 in high school, like a sophomore. So yeah, that's
he was already at a grown man body at 16.
Yeah, exactly. He was huge. But
what up, Pancake? What up, Sky? We're doing good. We're talking basketball, talking LeBron versus Jordan. Any comments that you guys want to throw in? We'll read them out as they come in.
But yeah, just to finish my point, nobody was going to come to Cleveland because one, the front office wasn't doing their job in doing a good job recruiting. 2, a lot of those guys in the league at that time, even still to this day, were MJ guys. So they wanted to, and I still believe this to this day, that a lot of people wanted to protect MJ's legacy, which I understand. MJ was everybody's favorite. He was my favorite growing up. So they didn't want to team up with LeBron. They didn't want to go get traded or whatever that narrative was at the time. So he knew in order for him to go win, he had to go somewhere. He had to. And I have a second point to that, but I want you to go.
So as far as the staying, Michael Jordan versus LeBron, I mean, free agency wasn't really what it was like back then. So like
Yeah, absolutely.
everyone who came to the Bulls was drafted. Horace Grant drafted, Tony Kukoc drafted, Scottie Pippen drafted. They ended up getting Dennis Rodman, and I'm sure we'll talk about him later, but nobody wanted him at that time. Like people act like they forget that part, that like nobody wanted him because he was nothing but drama and like didn't give a fuck about anything.
I mean, I agree with the part. They didn't want the drama part.
Yeah.
They wanted the talent because he was a hell of a talent.
I mean, he was basketball's biggest diva ever at the time. And like every single storyline that was written about him had nothing to do with basketball. And I'm talking about when he left the Pistons, not during the Pistons. He's still young,
Right.
I mean, he was dope with the Pistons. Like he earned those 2 championships also that they got. But yeah, I think that that's something that totally gets overlooked in the Jordan part of like the staying, is like they didn't go get a bunch of free agents and bring them over, like Dennis Rodman aside, they didn't, everything was drafted. And like their front office was not that good, like, I mean, Jordan, obviously the best pick ever. He was also pick number 3. Like 2 other people like fucked up like on like picking him number 1 because guards weren't really the thing back then, Yes. So that's the argument that I would say about Jordan staying, is he didn't get a bunch of people to come over and just play with him. Like Rodman, yeah, I'm sure there's a couple other free agents that we could mention, but a big percentage of every player who he was playing with was drafted.
True, and I agree with that. But to go against it, I would say the reason why, he probably would have never left, but had Pippen never came, had Rodman never came, had he only been winning scoring titles like he was his first 6 or 7, 8 years in the league before he started winning, I'm not sure if at that time Jordan, the competitive person that he is, he wouldn't want his guys, or at least ask for somebody to go get. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that he requested to go get Rodman. He requested to go get other guys. So it's because he knew he needed other great players, and it's the same for Bron. Bron knew he didn't have great players around him. He knew, I have to go get with another great player. And yes, I understand it's a knock on him as far as Jordan didn't need to go learn from other great players to get great. He was already great. Bron was great, but he didn't know how to win.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that'll lead into the next point that I'm going to make. But yeah, I want to hear that from you first, and then I'll give the other side of that coin too.
Got you. So Bron had to learn how to win. Yeah, and I'll go to his point too after that. But yeah, Bron had to go to Miami and D-Wade to learn how to win, because where he was, he couldn't figure it out. And even in the first year, they were great, and then they went into the finals, and he choked 1,000%. I'm sure we're going to talk about that too. But it was the help of D-Wade teaching him, yo, you are the greatest player in the league right now. You don't need to defer to me. You don't need to be scared. You are the best player on the entire planet. Go be you. And then from that point on, it was historic what he did from then on. So I understand if people want to knock him for that, but I don't think that's a bad thing. He had to learn. Some people didn't have to go that path, but LeBron did. And to go to his point, MJ had to learn from Phil Jackson, because Phil Jackson had to change MJ's mindset of, look, I understand you're great and you're scoring all these getting all these scoring titles, but if you want to really be put in the GOAT conversation, because he was being called the GOAT before he even won. Yeah. He was already in that conversation before he
when
won.
You average 37 points, your third year in the league, come on.
I get it, but at the same time, we're the ring culture that we live in. They talk about rings. He didn't even have one yet. So how could he?
His team was trash. I wouldn't. Shit. When he did that, like I was just like barely born. Like I was born in '86. I think it was literally the same year. But
absolutely,
their team was trash in the '80s. I mean, they didn't have anybody, like, I mean, we could say, damn it, what was his boy? Um, I'm spacing on the big center who he had, who was the enforcer, Charles Oakley. Like, I mean, they had guys like Oakley and shit, but he's more of like an enforcer than like
Yeah.
a Tim Duncan style technical, does everything the right way. Like, I mean, if we're being real, in the 80s, I mean, I'm sure Michael Jordan was the only one probably not doing blow on that team. Like, I mean, they had a bunch of degenerates, and like, I don't, it's the same argument for Kobe when Kobe was ball hog Kobe. But when you have nobody on the squad and you're like, I'm gonna pass it to you and you're not doing shit, like, that's different. And LeBron never had to have that mentality after he went to Miami because he never ever played without one or two scorers who averaged 20 points a game before they teamed up. And that was Bosch, that was Wade.
2018. He didn't have Kyrie that year. Kevin Love was still averaging under 20 points a game, and that was what.
But that was because of injury, though, right?
No, Kyrie left. That's when Kyrie left.
Okay, remember, that was the first year he left. Okay.
Yeah, that was the year that he wanted to have his own team. He went to Boston and all that shit.
Yeah.
But you're right. But outside of 2018, he carried that team by himself, and that was one of by far probably his best year.
Because really, for the him leaving part, because he didn't leave after he lost in the finals. Like he stayed there. What was it, another year or two?
Yeah,
but it was because of the Celtics. I know that. I mean, he knew that he couldn't get over that Celtics hump. I mean, what the Celtics make it like? I mean, I guess they lost to Orlando the year before. No. I'm talking about like when the Celtics, like they formed their big three, whatever, when they had KG, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen. And, they go to the finals instantly. I mean, they ended up winning. And then I know they lost to Orlando and didn't go there, but then they went again. Then they lost to LA. Like, LeBron's, I mean, that was kind of like the ugly dark years for like LeBron. And it was post going to the finals and the team's bad. But the whole East was kind of bad, minus the Celtics and them, like at the time. And even that, taking a team that's that bad to the finals, that definitely shows how the competition in the East was like at that time, because there really wasn't that much competition in the 07.
I agree, but still, he was 24 years old, a 24-year guy in his fourth year in the league. He shouldn't be able to do that. He shouldn't be able to do that.
Well, he was younger than that because he came in at 18. So, yeah, he was even younger than 24. But still,
he might have been 22. Actually, you might be right. Yeah. So,
but like, look at like Wemby. Losing the way that he did is a dark stain on his GOAT, just performance, just right off the bat. So I mean, it's got to still be there. It's an asterisk next to his name. It's one of those negative things for sure.
I think we got to give him more credit for bringing those because again, like you said, he was young. He was super young, and yeah, the East wasn't strong at that time, but to bring a team at 22 years old, being the leader of the team at 22 years old, you got to give him credit for that because Jordan, as great as he was, averaging 36 points a game, he couldn't do that.
I mean, look at who he was facing, though. Like, I mean, if we could tell me one team that LeBron's faced that is anywhere of the caliber of the Celtics or the Pistons before getting to the championship, like Jordan losing to the teams that won the championship shouldn't be this like insanely huge knock like against him. I mean, the Celtics had like 4 all-stars like on that squad, and they own the Celtics and the Pistons and the Lakers. Those 3 teams own the 80s, like literally just those 3 teams.
Absolutely. I agree that it was tough competition at that time, but at the same time, if they knock Bron for when he doesn't bring a team to the finals. And
of course,
it's like, all right, look what he's going up against. He can't drag every team. Same with MJ, like you just said, he was going up against tough competition. It was obviously a lot tougher in the physical in the 90s and in the 80s and 90s. But as far as competition, LeBron had very tough competition before he got with those guys. So it's the same thing.
Well, it's not though. And you know why? Because if you go look at how many times LeBron got to the finals, and even if you average it out when he was in the East, he made it an insane amount of times. He
8
only
in a
made
row.
it one time in the West, and it was only during the bubble year, and that was it. They did win, but I mean, there should be an asterisk next to a bubble COVID year, like no matter what, because everything is completely different. There's no traveling, there's no fans, there's no distractions, like there's no nothing. And 1 out of 8 years is how much he made it when he was in the West. That's how good he is when there's real competition.
No, I don't definitely don't put an asterisk on the bubble. When you speak to most of those players that were in the bubble, they said that was the roughest thing that they've ever had to go through. So you had to mentally be locked in to play basketball, and everybody signed up for it. Shit, the Lakers and Milwaukee didn't even want to, and they
That's what I'm
still got.
saying. It was
But
bad, but there was no
got it
fans
done.
and there was no traveling. And that
That,
the traveling part is the hardest part of
but
professional sports, especially in 7-game series.
right, but everybody had to deal with that. Not just the Lakers, not just LeBron. Everybody had a level playing field. So it's not like any team had an advantage. They all played basketball. Yeah, there were no fans. Yeah, that's a advantage to the home team and stuff. But we've seen teams lose on the road. I mean, lose on at home. So it doesn't always mean that you're going to win because your fans are there. You know, at the same time, everybody's playing at the same level. Everybody's going through the same thing. Everybody's locked away from their families. They're going through it mentally. So I don't put the asterisk on that. I think that.
But think about how you just said level playing field. It's not a level playing field when you have to travel and you have the home and away fans.
But nobody got to travel. That's what I'm saying. As far as level,
I'm just saying it made it easier all around because it eliminated two things that actually make a huge difference when it comes to
it made it easy
where you play, the environment you play.
No, I agree, but it made it easy for everybody, not just LeBron.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, no matter who won that championship, LeBron or anybody else, they'd have the asterisk because that's like everybody. That's like golf. If everybody, like, no matter what, played like with the exact same like handicap or whatever, you know, like that's why they have the handicapping in golf, is because if you're better, like, you know, it's just, that's all I'm saying. Like maybe they're home fans in LA. They would have willed it to them, you know, like, I mean, I've been to LA games during the championships. Like it's insane. But also when you go on the road, because LeBron's great when he can front run. It's going into places that he notoriously does bad when he's on the road. In the finals specifically.
I disagree. I think if someone else would have won the bubble, most people, maybe not you, but most people would have celebrated it and not put an asterisk on it. The only reason why they're putting an asterisk on it is because it's LeBron. They need to put a stain on his resume any way possible because they have to stand up for LeBron, for MJ any way possible.
I'll agree with you on that. But me personally, no matter who would have won that, like there's an asterisk on that. But
I respect that because I believe you when you say that. I believe you when you said no matter who it was, you were going to put asterisk. That I respect. But most other fans, and you, like you said, you agree, they would have said something else, and that's where I had the pushback. But we agree on the fact that I respect that you would have put an asterisk on it either way.
Yeah,
so
no matter who. And Jamie, we're gonna read all these when we start getting into some of the achievements and stuff. I know this is coming soon, but yeah, Jamie threw in a bunch right there, so saving me from even having to. I just read his comment, and then he's gonna make some of the points for me.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, still, no matter what, I think because this isn't you, this is all the LeBron. This is just the LeBron narrative. So a lot of times, if I say you guys, I'm not even talking about you specifically. I'm just talking about the LeBron fans, because I hear a bunch of the debates and on TikTok and everywhere. The biggest thing, you know, for why they say LeBron is the GOAT, well, two reasons. One, because he beat the Golden State Warriors, you know, that year. And then number two, because of how many times he's made the finals and how many times like he made the finals in a row. At least to talk about those 2 points first, and I'll let you jump in.
Okay.
No team should be considered the greatest team of all time if they didn't win a championship. Like no matter what. Like I think it's bogus that regular season like record. Like yeah, even though it's amazing, they still only beat the Bulls by one game. And like now is the time when guys aren't playing 82 games. So I mean, if the Warriors were being like if they played their players a little bit more, like probably just gives them the advantage to winning like an extra like game or two. But they didn't win the championship. So I'm like that's one thing that I'm knocking. And then the 10 however many finals in a row. I mean, it's an insane amount. I still think going to the finals and losing just makes you the first loser. And like I don't think anybody would say the Buffalo Bills, who made 4 in a row, never been done, will probably never be done again. And they face like some insane like teams. Like no one's ever talking about them being amongst the greatest teams ever. Like people don't even talk about them.
I agree with that part. But to your first part, what was it?
The beating the Golden State Warriors, and because even LeBron deemed himself the greatest of all time after that.
I'm not gonna lie, I did too. That's when I just deemed him the greatest of all time because that was insane for what they did and how he played. But the reason why I can't knock it is because, yeah, I agree that team is not the greatest team of all time because they didn't get it done. But the reason why they didn't get it done is because of LeBron and Kyrie and that team. And that team has been universally known as the greatest championship of all time. Like it's ranked on almost every freaking sports publication that you can think of. They all rank that 2016 run the greatest run of all time. So if it's the greatest of all time and that beats MJ's runs and the Warriors run with KD and Steph and them when they won I think it was 15 or 16 games in a row or some shit like that. They have the record or whatever it is. We can't knock it. We got to give that credit, and he was a part of that. He was the leader.
What's crazy? I'm going to switch sports on you. So that means that the Boston Red Sox are the greatest team of all time then in 2004.
I didn't say they were the greatest team of all time. I said they had the greatest run of all time.
Okay. Well, okay. So then Boston definitely had the greatest run then. Okay. And seeing even then, even when you said that, I even took that greatest team. And that may have been the greatest run of all time. But I guess what's tough is even going down 3-1, like, yeah, they came back. When's Jordan ever gone down 3-1 ever in the finals? Never, because they would have had to go to game 7, and he's never gone to game 7.
You know why? Because Jordan didn't have to play the same players in the finals as LeBron did. He didn't have the same talent that LeBron had to go.
I'm glad you said that because Jordan's gone up against multiple regular season MVPs. I don't think LeBron's ever had to go up against an MVP that actually won the MVP and then like made the finals that exact same year. You tell me if I'm wrong, but that's never happened against LeBron.
Maybe not that same year, but he's definitely gone against.
But no, that's what I mean. Someone winning the MVP, making the finals that year, same year, and then going up against LeBron. That's never happened for LeBron. It's happened at least twice for Jordan with Malone and Barkley. And the reason why all these teams everyone says are so trash, like the Jazz, like Barkley's when he was on the Sixers and when he was on the Suns, and the what's it called? The Seattle Supersonics, like all of those teams, they didn't win in the 90s because of Jordan, but the LeBron fans say that Jordan never went up against anybody because he beat them all.
No, it's not because he beat them all. It's because if you look at the talent if you look at the All-Stars that MJ went against, that All-Stars, right? Or all NBA first teams. If you compare the numbers, it's like 15 to 40.
But you know what's crazy though?
It's a lot more better talent then
LeBron has had more all-star teammates than Jordan has gone against, I guess. Or there's some stat like that.
yeah,
And
that
it is
may be
longevity. It
right.
is
And
longevity for
that's
him. But he's always playing with all-stars. Always. Even
because you
Ilgauskas
have
was an all-star.
yeah, but
That's how trash the East
were
was, though.
they were trash though. That like if we don't yeah, he won they got the all-stars because of how great they were playing that year. But if we really do we ever put Ilgauskas in any conversation as far as being great? No. He
But
had
that's
a
how
great
trash the
year.
East was, because
But you
he
know
got
why
it
he
with
had a
his
great year?
mediocre stats.
You know why Ilgauskas had a great year and what was his name? Gibson
There we
and
go.
all those other guys that went to All-Star because of LeBron. If LeBron wasn't there, there's no way in hell any of them are making an All-Star, let alone make the finals. So
all-star starters were based on popularity, not on skills.
Say that again.
The all-star starters is based on popularity and votes, not skill.
Right.
The bench players, those are people that the coaches pick and shit like that. But so that's what I mean. Is like, yeah, LeBron's always been the most hyped. Like he's always been the most hyped.
But for good reason. Look what he's about to be 42 years old in year 24. And he's still to this day
still chasing Jordan,
moving the needle.
He's still chasing Jordan to this day. Like that's the biggest thing. Because like, let's go into now. I'm gonna read some of Jamie's comments, and now we can just go like a little bit of tick for tack on like just some of the accomplishments that are stats that are cut and dry. So Jordan averaged 30.1 points a game for a career. I mean, there's nobody who's averaging over 30 points for the career. Nobody. He's won 10 scoring titles. I mean, he played 15 years. You know, I mean, that's if we're counting like the injury years and the Wizard years, right? And like 10 times. That's 2/3 of the time when he was in the league that he was the leading scorer. Averaged 33.4 in the playoffs. Pretty sure that is the highest for everybody. I mean, when he had nobody on his team. I mean, 63 against the Celtics. I mean, that's still the record for most points in a playoff game. Defensive player of the year. He got it once. LeBron's never got it. The 9-time all defensive, and then led the league in steals multiple times. I don't know why the LeBron fans are like, oh yeah, but they just like made up a bunch of steals for Jordan so he could like lead it. Like I don't get that part of it. You can let me know about that part. And they said LeBron was elite in his prime, but Jordan has a stronger defensive resume. If we're basing it on stats, I think so.
So to go to the first part, yes, the MJ averaged the most points in the season all time, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And LeBron, whatever his average is, 25, whatever it is. Let's think about the size of LeBron, how good he is offensively, but he is a pass-first guy. So if he wasn't a pass-first guy, we don't think that the man that is the best player in the league for the longest time, who we've seen score 60, score 50, score 40, do all these things, that if he wanted to, he could average maybe not 10, get 10 scoring titles, but get at least 5 if he wanted to.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like he wants to get stats. Like he's stat padding. So like we can't say that if he wanted to do that, he would have did it. We can't like create a false narrative around that.
No, he didn't want to. That's my point.
That's on him. We can't say that he would have done it if he wanted to, though. Because he's wanted to win every championship, but he also hasn't won every championship.
Right. But that you can't knock him for not being a great scorer because his averages isn't the same of MJ when he's the greatest scorer of all time.
So you can't say that because he's not the greatest. He has the most points of all time.
Right. That's what I meant.
When has Kareem ever been called the greatest of all time? Because he had the most points
I
forever.
misspoke. That's what I meant to say. He has the most points. So
Okay.
people knock LeBron for not being a good scorer, but he has the most points of all time. And not only does he have the most points of all time, he was the youngest to knock every record from whenever he started to finish.
That's also has to do with the timing of when he got drafted, because literally like 2 years after he got drafted, you had to go to the NBA. And then if you go back to the 90s and 80s, very, very few guys went to the NBA out of high school because of how physical it was.
Right. But LeBron did.
So he was just right in this nice little time frame. So no one can ever be the fastest because no one can play at 18 anymore.
Well, not anymore. Absolutely. But no, I don't mean that. Yeah, he was the youngest to do it, but still.
But that's why it hasn't been broken, because he like nobody can be as young as him in the NBA anymore.
All right, but even if someone was, you think somebody was going to be able to do this average, the 25 points for 20 straight years, like LeBron did?
Yeah. I mean, Jordan averaged 30 for 15 years. I mean, no one's saying LeBron isn't good, but if we're saying who's better, like who's a better scorer, MJ or LeBron?
If you want, me personally, it depends on
like if you're picking a team and you want someone to score the most points on that team, are you picking LeBron or are you picking Jordan?
Me personally, I'm going with LeBron because I know that he can do it in all aspects of the game.
No, but I just said scoring. And we're talking about scoring only.
That's what I'm saying. I'm scoring. He can score in the paint. He can post up. He can shoot. He can do everything that MJ can do. MJ just does it at a higher level.
Exactly. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad you said that, because MJ is also 3 inches shorter, so it should be a lot easier for LeBron to score in the paint.
That's my point, though. That's why I'm going with LeBron, because he's bigger, he's stronger, he can overpower everybody. And if
so even though you just said Jordan's a better scorer, he's smaller and still can score better, but you're going with the bigger guy.
As far as consistent, if you need somebody to shoot, because that's what he's going to do, yeah, absolutely. I'm going with, if you're talking about straight shooting, absolutely. I'm going with MJ, because we know that's
MJ
automatic.
can get to the bucket way easier than LeBron, and he can make the free throw if we're talking like a real game.
No.
We could go look at highlights of Jordan's layups where he has 4 people guarding him and he somehow scores.
So, and how LeBron has never done that?
I mean, we
LeBron
have like
on 3 people.
Okay, he should. I mean, he's taller. Like, I mean, dude, he's tall. He's 6'9". He should be able to do that. Jordan dunked over your man Patrick Ewing, and they're nowhere close, like inside.
Right. Absolutely, but he also had better hops than Patrick Ewing. So, of course, that's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, LeBron's tried to dunk on point guards and been blocked and missed.
It happens, but
that very rare do you see a Jordan highlight like that.
MJ. He's got a lot more historic posters than MJ.
No, not even close.
Absolutely.
Not even close. How?
He's still putting guys on posters at 42.
How? Who did he dunk on this year that was so nasty that I could go find a YouTube clip from it right now?
Who was it against? I want to say Utah. He had it was a windmill dunk. It was somebody shot it, rebound. I forgot what his name was.
On a fast break or something like that.
No, it wasn't on a fast break. The Lakers had the ball. Someone shot it. Someone got the ball, passed to LeBron, and LeBron windmill dunked it. It was like the highlight of the season.
Let's see.
Check it out. Let me see it if you don't find it.
Well, this says insane poster dunk. Let's see if that's probably not it. That wasn't a windmill. But it's crazy that they'd even say a poster dunk where it's kind of a weak dunk. Well, you see if you can find it. You see if you can find it, because I'm not seeing it here. I'm not seeing it here. And Bees, what up? Yeah, this is Jonesin for sports.
What's going
And
on?
Jamie, who has a higher selling rate shoe. I mean, that one's easy. Yeah, B said LeBron has more historic posters than MJ. I'm trying to figure that part out too. Jamie said LeBron averages 2 point more assists per game. For the career, or what are we talking about? What is it? Jamie said assists per game. I think LeBron had 7.5 to Jordan's 5.5, but LeBron also created the super teams to allow him to do that. Jordan was the better scorer. Bees said he's a stat chaser. LeBron fans can't defend it logically. We'll see if Jonesin will.
Oh, that's what I also wanted to say. You were talking about defensively.
Yeah.
One, MJ could never guard 1 through 5. LeBron could.
He can't guard him good 1 through 5, but that's only because of how tall he is.
He whenever clutch
he
moments,
can't defend Shaq. He can't defend Duncan. Like he can't defend real guys at the position.
Yes, he did guard Duncan. Look it up in those finals.
Did he guard him well though? Like that's the point. Like,
yes, that's what I'm talking
about. In the series, in the final series when the Spurs beat him, like that's when LeBron defended him good.
When LeBron guarded Tim Duncan, he guarded him well.
And it would be like a series or two, or like a couple plays here and there, or did he guard him for like 100%?
It wasn't for a whole game, but there was some games where he did. There was definitely some.
If you tell me those games, I will go look up the box scores from those games because I think that's Fugazi.
2013 finals against the Spurs in the final moments. He guards him. He guards Kawhi. He guards Tony Parker. He guards basically the whole goddamn team. And those.
Yeah, but they lost, right? Like, I mean, didn't they get whooped by the Spurs that year? And he was afraid of Kawhi. Like, remember that one specific play where LeBron's shooting free throws and Kawhi's coming in and he's checking in and LeBron looks back and he's like, "Fuck." Yeah. Like, remember that? That's because he's scared of Kawhi. When's Jordan ever been scared of anybody on the court?
He wasn't scared. LeBron, that's the false narrative too. LeBron is never scared. He's shown up at all the clutch moments that he needs to. He's shown up. He's the most clutch player in NBA playoff history. Fact.
No, he's
has the most game winners. Fact.
Okay, most game winners and most playoff losses, most finals losses. With every longevity stat, there's a negative stat to go along with it, and that matters. That matters.
I hate that narrative though. Everybody keeps saying longevity.
You say you said it too.
But that's a good thing. He's playing at an elite level at 42 years old. How are we?
Yeah, but most points, most missed shots. Like it literally goes hand in hand. It goes hand in hand. That you can't take away the bad from the good because of longevity.
No, but you're only pointing out the bad. Is my point.
You're pointing out the good, and I pointed out the bad.
But why is there a bad for playing a long time? Like that's the point I don't understand.
Well, why is it great that he has the most points ever, but most misses? He also has the most assists ever and the most turnovers ever.
I don't even know if that's a fact for sure, though.
It is. Go search it. He has the most turnovers in NBA history. Longevity stats, like they go both ways.
Right. Absolutely. They sure do. But if you're still playing at a high level, nobody did this for anybody else that played 20 years. They didn't do this to Kobe.
Yes, they did. So many people hated on Kobe. So many people hated on Kobe that he was just a ball hog and that he couldn't win without Pau Gasol or Shaq. So many people hate on Kobe.
No, but that's not the same thing that I'm saying. I'm saying the longevity part of it.
Kobe played 20 years.
Nobody says anything that, all right, Kobe is the fourth or fifth most points in NBA history. Nobody knocks him for playing 20 years of basketball to get there. Nobody knocks him for that.
It's because I don't think
And
anybody's cared. Because nobody called Kareem the GOAT. Nobody did. If anybody says they did, that's a fucking lie. That's a fucking lie.
Kareem was known as the GOAT before MJ was.
Yeah, and then I've only been alive since 1986. So if you're talking about before 1986, like I haven't heard any of those conversations.
Right, but they were conversations. I wasn't born either, but they were conversations. Kareem was the GOAT. And they gave
ever since 98, no one has called anybody the GOAT except MJ until LeBron. Right?
Right, but that's my point. They gave MJ the GOAT before he won anything. Kareem had to earn those rings. He had 6.
I mean, LeBron called himself the GOAT after the Golden State Warriors. LeBron called himself the greatest of all time after the Warriors. Jordan has never called himself the greatest of all time.
I'm
never
sure he hasn't publicly, but deep inside, he believes he's the GOAT. He might not say it publicly, but who cares if MJ says it publicly? I mean, if LeBron says it publicly. If he feels that way, that's what he feels. We don't
that's
do that
after 2 championships, though, that he said that he's the greatest of all time. And we could go down the list of great players with more championships and with more accomplishments. Okay. No,
he had 3 at that time.
Oh, yeah, because he got 2 in Miami. Yeah. But it was because of beating the Golden State Warriors, though. Like, that's why he deemed himself the greatest of all time. If Draymond doesn't get suspended for Game 5, they don't even win that. They don't even win that.
We'll never know, though. It happened.
We won't.
We'll never know.
That was some political shit, though. It was some political shit.
It wasn't. And
that was so ticky-tack. The foul, the tech that he got was because of another player stepping over him, and then he got upset. That's what happened.
No, you're forgetting things. You're forgetting what the context that leads up to that. If you're Draymond Green and you have 15 technical fouls, you're supposed to be on your best behavior. You already know that the refs are looking at any and everything that you do, and they're going to tee you up. Yeah. So if
they did everything that they could to be ticky tack,
you have to be smarter. That's on him. That's his fault. You can't blame the Cavs for that. You can't blame LeBron for that. That's him.
But it is an asterisk, though. It is an asterisk.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Oh, it totally is.
We don't give anybody asterisks for when injuries happen. When guys don't.
I mean, LeBron has a bunch of asterisks for playing with Scottie Pippen. Like, that's what's crazy.
Nobody gives him an asterisk for that,
bro.
I don't give him. Who gives him an asterisk?
No,
for that?
Not you. I'm not saying you. Remember, if I say you, I mean LeBron fans.
No, I know. I've never heard anybody say that.
If you go on TikTok and you just search Michael Jordan and go through live streams, you'll see live streams that said that will say Michael Jordan was nothing without Scottie Pippen. That Scottie Pippen is the greatest Bulls player ever.
Those are probably youngsters that don't freaking know basketball.
And how old are you? Because I know someone was asking in the chat. I totally just forgot to ask.
Say again.
I said, and how old are you? Because I totally forgot, and someone asked in the chat.
I'm 35. I was born in 91.
Okay.
I was born in 91. So yeah. So those are youngsters.
I'm sure it's younger guys who are saying that Scottie Pippen is the greatest Bulls player ever, and it is just to troll. I feel, and that's what social media is.
Yeah, like Phil Jackson gives. I think that's what I don't want to say to their point, but off of their point, Scottie did do a lot for that team. And I don't think I'm not to discredit MJ. This is not to discredit MJ at all. But we do have to, if we're going to compare it to LeBron, all those things that Scottie did, those were things to keep MJ rested and being able to score and play defense. He didn't have to worry about assists. He didn't have to worry about rebounds. He didn't have to worry about those things. LeBron on every team, no matter if he had great players or not, he had to worry about those things regardless. And we've seen it in the finals, 2017 finals. Even though they lost, he led both teams. And in 2018, he led both teams in every statistical category. That's
wins.
putting
Like
everything
that's
on
what's
this.
crazy. Except wins. Like except the
That's
only
something
like.
that MJ never had to deal with.
I mean, see, I guess that's what's tough because like you say he never had to deal with it. He had the ball in his hands a lot. It's not like he was like an off-ball shooter who like just never had the ball, you know?
Right.
Like I mean,
But that's
like if
because
he's the best score, like he has, I don't even know how many triple doubles he has. I'm sure LeBron like has more, but like there's this whole narrative that like Jordan didn't pass. Like Jordan,
no,
I
he
mean, really,
definitely
that's it. Like Jordan couldn't pass. Like LeBron's so much bigger than him, but like I wonder how far they even are, like as far as like rebounds. Because if we're talking about guards, like Jordan's what number 2 in steals for guards all time, and or no blocks. I mean for guards all time, and then he's like ninth in steals or like something like that. So he's like
yeah,
top 10 for his position at 2 defensive categories. LeBron's not top 10 for his, I mean, for the position he is, small forward. I
yeah,
think he's like second and fourth or something like that. But he,
yeah.
because of how much bigger he is, he should have
But
way more blocks, way more rebounds. You know, like I mean, those type of things should be like he should be way higher amongst the all-time greats than what he is. That's my point. If those are like, you know,
let me
two big
see.
defensive like categories that we're talking about.
Are we just talking about small forward?
Well, that's what I was saying. If you do small forward, yeah, he'll be top, I think, 5 at both the blocks and the rebounds. But even that for the longevity, not number 1, like at the rebounds or the blocks. And that's
No,
just amongst small forwards, and that's it.
So for his position, all-time ranks, obviously points first, assist fourth, steals 6, 3-pointers 7th, and they're not showing rebounds.
Because I know he's second amongst for the rebounds, and then second or fourth amongst the blocks.
Let's see.
But I got even more like accomplishments that Jordan's done, and I just want after you do this, I wanna just hear not even your counter, just I want you to bring up the LeBron accomplishments that like outweigh all of these accomplishments that Jordan has also, because it's like
Yeah.
these things don't matter, and going to the finals and losing means more than all of these individual stats when LeBron's always been a stat pattern. I'm breaking out the OGs for this. Here we go. Look it up.
It won't show me the rankings. It just shows that he's averaged 7.6 rebounds for a season, first career. Let me see.
And really, just even that, me even bringing that up is like both are great at the position, but like this whole narrative that LeBron is so much better at defense than Jordan is kind of just crazy when we boil it down to like certain defensive stats.
I wouldn't say he's so much better, but I just feel like he had more of a responsibility. And yeah, you can say it's because of his size and stuff like that. That's a fair point. I can't disagree. That's a great point. Yeah, he's bigger. He should be able to do a little bit more than MJ. But and it's not a counter to what you're saying. It's more to a counter to what everyone says that MJ. That's what I forgot. This is my last point as far as defensively. Yeah, he won't accomplish as much as MJ, but I do believe that the league took one from LeBron because, and I forgot what year it was, but the year that Marc Gasol won the Defensive Player of the Year, being second team All Defensive Player, but LeBron was first team All Defensive Player, and got second place in what's his name wasn't even. I forgot what his place was in those votings. He wasn't even in the top 5 for the second team. So
Yeah.
I feel like the NBA jerked him because they didn't want to put that on his resume because they wanted to protect MJ.
I mean, yeah, Marcus, all getting that. I mean, I'll give that to you. I'm not gonna say that LeBron should have got it though, because he got it. Like that's definitely a flaw in like the scoring, that's for sure. But I'm sure if I go look close enough, I bet I could find other years that Jordan could have won Defensive Player of the Year. The thing that's tough with that is, I mean, a lot of it's steals and blocks, and like if like blocks as a whole, I mean, a 7-foot guy should have more blocks than a 6'6" guy, no matter how you slice it. But like for the amount that he was getting at his size and blocking guys that are bigger than him, that should be taken into account. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. No, I definitely give MJ his defensive credit. Like whenever I speak about the defensive side, I never want to discredit what MJ did. It's more just to give more credit to what LeBron does, because I feel like the LeBron haters just want to spew nonsense as far as when it comes to his defensive accomplishments, and it's like, bro, he's 6'8", 260,
he's
strongest.
6'9". Don't shrink him. He's 6'9". Don't shrink him.
Yeah, 6'9". He's strong as shit. Like, come on, you're telling me that he in his prime, not now, but in his prime, he didn't play defense? Like, that's nonsense. I've watched it with my own two eyes, play guard the best players in the crunch, and them not do anything. Especially D Rose. That's a prime example. When I
think that's the only MVP that he's ever faced. Like when they won the MVP. Yeah.
There you go. That's one of them he took out.
That's the only one. That's the only one.
I don't know if that's the only one. I gotta check. But he locked what's his name up after game 2. Like, I forgot who else. I think as Mario Chalmers had that responsibility the first 2 games, and then after that, LeBron's like, I got this, and then they took care of him after that. Took care of him.
And the first thing that I'm going to say to start off these accomplishments, and I'll just compare the Jordan and LeBron. You can even respond to this: 9 times all defense, first team all defense. That's that's head of the NBA. It's him and Kobe and Gary Payton that are at the top of that. LeBron's only got 4 or 5, and he's played a lot more years than he has.
Yeah, hey, when it comes to defense, MJ's gonna have the more accomplishments.
Okay, so I'm just gonna read a bunch of just cut and dry, black and white, like stats, awards, and then you could come back with like LeBron's awards, and we'll see like who has more just overall. And the first thing that I'm gonna say, Jordan is the only player in NBA history to win a regular season MVP, a finals MVP. I mean, the finals obviously also, and be first team all defense and win a scoring title. He's the only person to ever do that. Nobody's done that from every other great player in the NBA, and Jordan did it 4 times. So that's the first thing that I'm going to say as an accomplishment that nobody in the NBA has touched. 6-time champion, 6-time finals MVP, 100%, no losses. 5-time MVP, 10-time all NBA first team. It's fun. Even in 85, when I don't even know how many games he played in 85, he got second team all NBA for defense. And then we already know that was NBA, the second team for offense. And then 9 times for the all defensive first team. 1 defensive player of the year in 98. Rookie of the year. I mean, we know LeBron has that. All rookie team, LeBron has that. The 2-time slam dunk champion. LeBron was always too scared to play in that when he's like one of the best dunkers of all time. He should have dominated that. But let me keep going. 10-time scoring champion and 7 in a row. And the only reason why it was only 7 in a row was because he retired. And then when he came back for those 3 years, he was a scoring champ for those 3 years. So, yeah, the only reason why it wasn't 12 in a row is because he retired and then came back. Highest points per game in NBA history on average, the 30.1. The playoffs, 33.4. highest, 63 points against the Celtics in Boston. And that's never been touched. Two-time Olympic gold medal winner. And then he did have the college championship in 82. And I know that's NCAA, but he wasn't even the best person on that team. That was James Worthy at the time. Like Jordan was hella young and Worthy was like the guy. Jordan took over. Jordan hits the game winner. And even though that's not in the NBA, that still means something.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I like it. Well, just to start off where you finished, LeBron didn't have to go to college. We went straight to the league. So we'll start there just to go off of what you said. Yeah, he only has 4, but been to 10 finals. A lot of LeBron critics want to say, yeah, he lost 6 championships. But my argument to that is the 6 that he lost, tell me MJ is going to win those. The first one in 07. MJ is going to win that. If we just switch places, MJ is going to win that with that team because he didn't do it in the 80s. Why is he going to do it now?
Yeah.
So I don't see him winning that one.
But we should be talking peaks though when we're talking to that, because if we're talking about LeBron's first couple years, I mean,
LeBron wasn't in his peak in 07. He was in his 4th year.
But yeah, when you're talking about Jordan in the 80s, like he's not anywhere close to his peak like that.
They called him the god of the basketball in his 3rd year.
Because he's the greatest scorer of the basketball, but he wasn't fully fine-tuned at that point.
I agree. But I'm saying the narrative was different. People already thought he was one of, if not the greatest.
But LeBron was called King James in his rookie year. Okay.
Absolutely.
Like we can't act like he was not hyped as like one of the best players in the NBA before he even did anything in the NBA.
I agree with that. They were both hyped, but MJ's hype was more because he was already being called the GOAT before he was.
No. Well, here's what I'm saying. Here's where the narrative's being switched. When LeBron comes into the league, he's already thought of as one of the greatest players in the NBA at that time. Not greatest all time, but greatest in the league at that time. Yeah. No one is calling Jordan the greatest in the league before he does anything in the league. It took him averaging and scoring and shitting on the competition for 2.25 years or whatever, because he missed that whole like 86 year because of the broken ankle or whatever. Took 2 full seasons of him shitting on the league before they're talking about what you're talking about. And that was him averaging 37 in a season.
But the difference is, all those things that you said is true, but the difference is LeBron didn't have to wait a couple years. He was already, like you said, dominating the league early in his few years. Like he was already doing that. So it's different. LeBron earned everything that those people put on his shoulder. And then he accepted those things and went on and
But he didn't earn anything in the NBA. That's what I'm saying. Because this is before he even gets to the NBA, is what I'm saying.
No,
I'm not talking about him playing. Literally going into the league when he was drafted, they were saying going to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now he's one of the greatest players in the NBA right now. Like they were already deeming him that before he touched the court.
Were they wrong?
Yes,
that's my point.
Yeah, they were wrong.
They weren't wrong. He came in the league and he dominated early. They weren't wrong. So it's
I the East was just so whack though, but that's what I want to like. And let's get to the accomplishments of where he dominated, because dominated is subjective if there's not black and white stats and awards to back it up.
Well, so we're just talking about dominating.
Well, you said dominated, and I'm saying if he was like dominating like that, there should be like, you know, some accolades to like back it up. It shouldn't.
I'm just saying, because your point was LeBron got all this hype early before he came in the league. If we're talking about just before he came in the league, he was dominating the competition there. These guys that are his same age, and then he went.
Just like Jordan in the NCAA when he's going up against older players, but you said that wasn't in the NBA, so it kind of doesn't matter, right?
No, I'm not discrediting that. I'm saying that LeBron didn't have to do that. He went the MJ's development. Not that it wasn't great, it came at a slower pace than LeBron. That's my point, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm not. That's
I mean,
not
not
a
if we're
knock.
talking from like 18 years old and up.
Ah,
Jordan won a championship and hit a game winner in college. And that's
he
just an
did that.
age when you couldn't
LeBron didn't have that
you couldn't
opportunity.
go to the NBA out of college because no one was getting drafted back then out of high school.
True, but still, LeBron had that opportunity. There was a lot of other great players, but LeBron was getting that hype early, and he deserved it. They said all these things about him in high school, and he lived up to all the hype once he graduated from high school and got to the NBA league level.
Yeah,
I think that's my whole point.
pretty sure Jordan did too. I mean, that's an argument that could just be said for both guys.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not discrediting what MJ did. I'm just saying that LeBron was talented enough to where he was able to skip that. He could have went to college, but he was talented enough to go to college, and it worked out for him.
What I'm saying is it was a really small window. It was like literally like a 6 or 8 year window of when just a couple high school guys like KG, like J.R. Smith, were like literally talking a couple, and it was only during a small window of time. And yeah, it shouldn't be a knock on Jordan that he couldn't do that when it just wasn't a thing.
But it shouldn't be on a knock on LeBron that he did do that.
Well, it's the longevity, because LeBron wasn't winning from 18 to 22 or like anything like that. 18 to 22, Jordan won a championship in college, couldn't go to the NBA because it just didn't work that way back then.
Right, but LeBron was playing with grown-ass older men than actual professionals at 18.
No, but back then, guys played 4 years in college.
But they weren't.
So he was going up against grown men.
But not professional grown men. Not professionals.
Yeah.
They weren't professionals.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Right. He said if LeBron wasn't 6'9", he doesn't get into the NBA at 18. Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that he's better at than Jordan is being tall. That's for sure.
We can't knock the man for his height. He didn't make up his height. That's how he was born. He was gifted that way. That we can't knock him for that.
But the shorter you are in the NBA, the harder it is, right? The shorter you are in the NBA, the harder it is, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But that you can't knock someone that's
Jody said you're gonna sneak this debate in without me. That's funny.
Yeah, Jody, my boy Jody. You can't knock him for that. Like they both were talented and they made it. Not everybody that's 6'6" or 6'9" or 7 foot make it to the league. You have to have talent with that. They both were talented to make the league. I don't think that's a knock.
It's always been the hype for the NBA, because even Jordan, I don't know being a 7-footer, those 2 7-footers that were drafted above him was literally because of the height. What Dakota say? He said Jordan entered the league with hand checks. LeBron joined the league with high school defense.
With what? With high schoolers?
With high school defense, because you can't hand check. Because you can't hand check now.
And
it was only like a year into his career.
It wasn't hand checking, but that's the other thing. Even MJ himself have said it, that LeBron could have played in his league. And all the MJ fans, not you, but all the MJ fans always say, oh, LeBron could never last in the league. But you guys keep saying that he's 6'9", 260. You guys give him credit there, but you won't give him credit that he's 6'9", 280 and strong, and he wouldn't be able to do the same thing in the league in Jordan's.
But flopping wouldn't be a thing, and we can go through like a whole highlight list of like just his flops. How do you defend his flopping?
Yes, flopping you can't defend it, but it's a part of the league that he lives in. So if you're trying to take advantage of a call, then yeah, you do it. It's the same thing with MJ. There was a point in time in the league where MJ had the league in the palm of his hand, and he got calls that he didn't deserve because he was MJ. It's a proven fact. There's highlights of it.
Okay, just one quick question, and I'm gonna boil it down to just like 2 series that he played in, and against the Detroit Pistons. We could go through a whole highlight reel of him getting completely fucked up, and every single like hard hit that he got would be a technical or an ejection in today's game. When has LeBron ever faced that in just one series where he's literally getting his head bashed in by multiple guys every single time he comes into the paint?
That's happened to LeBron a lot of his career. Once he got into his grown man body for real, like once he really got strong, probably I would say his last 2 years and his first stint with the Cleveland Cavaliers, when he was there was 3 guys holding him as he's going up for a layup. He's gotten beaten up. No, it's not the 80s where guys are swinging and doing all that stuff, because at that time that was legal. If it was legal in this era, they would be doing the exact same thing to him.
But that's the thing. It's not though.
It's been a different era.
Yeah, I know. But the defense and how hard it was to score because you could literally get punched in the face, that means it was harder to score no matter how you sliced it. And it's a different era. But also like this whole narrative of like Jordan was going up against plumbers and stuff. These plumbers could like hit you with like hammers.
No, I agree. I'm not one of the guys that say that league was soft or anything. That league was tough. But my response to that is I believe, even from the mouths of MJ himself, said that him, LeBron, Kobe, and I forgot KG and another guy could play in that league. Shaq could play in that league, in that era, I mean. So if
you would have just had to been tougher. And I guess like, I mean, he's only 1 year older than me, which is like kind of crazy to even like think about. But LeBron, he's 40, he's 41, I'm 40. I graduated 1 year before me. So I was hyped on LeBron when he came in. Like as a senior, he was going into the NBA. So like I was super hyped like on LeBron. Like I even created like a LeBron like throwback jersey like when he was a rookie, and like some that nobody had. And so I was on the LeBron train. And for me, it's the LeBron fans that ruined the experience. That's what it is, because it's not LeBron. LeBron's great, but he's not the greatest. He's not better than Jordan. There's no statistic or any like real fact that we can go to that makes him a better player than Jordan.
It does. I mean, just
go to it. Go to
playoff resume, his finals resume. Yeah, he's 4-6, but look what he's doing in those finals. Yeah, and look at
lost more than he won.
Don't put those into context. Like I was saying earlier, MJ would have won one of those series out of all of the. Out of the 6
you're tripping, dude. MJ with those super teams. The only one that you can say was that first one in 07 where he brought a bunch of bums. After that, he only played with guys that he specifically chose to build big threes around.
But there's nothing wrong with that. He was in the free agency era. People don't knock Shaq for jumping from team to team, winning championships.
Also, never considered the greatest of all time.
But they don't knock him for it, is my point. Like, yeah,
Shaq's well, here's why LeBron should be knocked. You ready? You ready for my reasons? I got not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8. You remember that press conference where he pretty much guaranteed that the Miami Heat were going to win 8 championships, and then you lost to the Dallas Mavericks and then had one of the worst performances in NBA history for a superstar? Didn't even average 20 points a game. Got dirked by Dirk.
That's the only knock that I have no response for. He was horrible. He said it himself. He didn't play great. He choked. There's nothing I can say about that. But
And that's right after he created. This was the first time that it ever happened where 3 guys got a max contract on the same team. That was the first time ever that happened. It was all free agency, not trade.
And free agency, exactly. Yeah. But he didn't create super teams. I hate when people say super teams.
He was the first. They was the first team to have 3 players with a max contract. That's the first time ever.
In free agency, we have to add that. That's important because there's the Celtics had
that's
3
creating a super team. How's that not creating a super team?
Say again?
How's that not creating a super team though?
No, I didn't say no, it's not I don't think it's a creating a super team. I'm saying they weren't the first to do it. They weren't the first LeBron wasn't the first player to team up with other players to win championships. He was not the first player.
But it was his choice. He's the one that did that with the Celtics. It was the general manager's choice.
It was not.
It wasn't Paul Pierce calling the shot.
That is not true. KG.
You're telling me Paul Pierce. He was the one on the Celtics. Paul Pierce. He's the one who called the shots and made them get KD and Ray Allen.
I'm telling you, if KG said it himself, he had a choice whether to re-sign with the Timberwolves or be moved to another team. And he decided he wanted to go to the Celtics because he wanted to win a championship. That was his choice.
Yeah, wasn't Paul Pierce's choice, and Paul Pierce wasn't Paul Pierce, was there. That's what I'm saying. D Wade was the one who was there, and this was LeBron James's idea.
It doesn't. Regardless, he still chose to go there. He still chose to go to another team where he know he can win, and he won. LeBron wasn't the first to do it. Shaq, another.
They won the first year. You remember that? The Celtics won that year.
Absolutely.
LeBron lost.
They did.
LeBron lost that year. They did. But then they won back-to-back championships after that. And you remember who they won against first? Remember who they won against first? Yeah, when they were all 20 and 21 and 22 years old. Remember that? And when LeBron could not win either because he hadn't learned yet. It's funny how they're such a good team because they have future MVPs that did not happen in 2011. They weren't MVPs then. But it's funny how because they had the talent later that team is looked at so great when they were all kids.
So those kids beat Kobe. Those kids beat the San Antonio Spurs. Those kids beat the Nuggets. I mean the Dallas Mavericks. Those young kids beat all those great teams and made it to the finals. So we can't discredit them making it to the finals because they're kids. LeBron doesn't get
it's the same kind of argument about LeBron being young in 2007.
Right. That makes my point. It
makes the point for OKC because if you said he's young in 2007 and gets a pass, why don't they get a pass for being young? They were younger than he was.
All right, but that's 3 of them. And 3 of them.
As 20, 21, and 22 years old.
But there was 3 compared to 1 man. LeBron carried that team in 07. In 2012, there was 3 of them that carried that team. That's the difference.
Ray Allen was on the team that won, so it was when they lost. They had 3. They added Ray Allen
they added Ray Allen, but still.
Ray Allen's a Hall of Fame shooting guard.
MJ never had to worry about that after Phil Jackson got there, Scottie Pippen got there, Rodman got there, Oakley got there. He didn't have to worry about other players.
You just spanned a lot of years. You just spanned more years than LeBron's ever been on one team.
MJ has never won without Scottie, right?
Okay.
He needed another great player. Yeah, everybody keeps knocking.
He got drafted. He got drafted. That's one player. That's literally one player. LeBron had D Wade. He had Bosh. He had Ray Allen. He had Kyrie. He had Kevin Love. He had AD. He had Luka. Like, come on, man. Like, the list goes on and on of the superstars that he's played with and teamed up with.
And MJ never had. Oh, MJ always had those super teams on his team.
No, he didn't. You just talked about the years that they didn't win the finals. None of those guys were there. He was carrying the team to play the Celtics, to play the Pistons, the teams that won the championships when he played them.
I don't see how that goes against my point, though, because he just said he was by himself at those points. I'm saying when LeBron, everyone knocks LeBron for having great teammates. Name me a champion that never had a great teammate.
It's a team sport. The thing is LeBron kept creating these new situations to put himself in the best. No, he didn't. He didn't. That he had to is subjective because they lost. Jordan just kept winning. So yeah, why would he? He actually left the sport because he knew that he was that dominant.
No, he left because he's a punk. But MJ never had to worry about players that weren't good. LeBron did. That's why he left those Miami. G Wade was on his last leg. Bosh had that was just going through that blood clot thing. He knew he wasn't going to win another championship in Miami. Okay. That's why he goes to go with another great player in a young Kyrie.
It's actually because of the cap why he left, because the cap was so screwed up is why they couldn't do anything and why he left. And it's because when you create these big contracts, multiple years down the road and guaranteed contracts, you can't add players. That's the downfall of creating the super teams with the max contracts. And he bounced because he couldn't handle the bad part of these contracts.
No, I mean, he earned every contract he signed.
So did everybody else that he teamed up with.
Absolutely. So you can't knock them for that. Yeah,
the knock is what I just said, where the contracts were too big to where they couldn't get more players. That's the knock.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with. That was going to happen. That's the league we live in, the free agency world that we live in. Like, that's going to happen no matter what from now on. So, but my point is that he had, in order to continue to win, he had to go with other great players in the world that we live in. That's the landscape. That's not his. You can't blame him for that. If you want to continue winning,
I feel like it's got to even be put himself in the best position to win because he's lost more than he's won.
But at least he tried to put himself in position. That's the point. If he stays his entire career in Cleveland, he maybe wins one or two, and then he gets the biggest stand on his career. Why would you live with that? Just because, the narratives, you got to stay with one team your whole career. That's nonsense. And people don't talk about it enough, but Kobe wanted out of LA. He requested a trade. And the reason why he was not traded is because they got Paul Gasol and Oda. That's the only reason why it happened.
Yeah, he was also good enough to where they weren't going to trade him. I mean, all these teams are good enough to where they were never going to trade LeBron, but they also didn't care about him enough, and I get it. And he never would have won in Cleveland if they wouldn't have got so bad that they got the number one pick and got Kyrie. Because LeBron's always been the Robin when it comes to scoring. In the finals, when they've actually won.
That's nonsense because he leads leads in every finals he's ever won, and some that he's lost. He's led the team in points, assists, rebounds, blocks, steals. It's never in
the fourth quarter though. Like that's the thing. Stat padding is a thing. But when you're the pass first guy that you said that he is, and then he starts passing first in the fourth quarter to D Wade and Kyrie and AD.
Fake narrative.
It's
That's
not
a fake
though.
narrative.
It's not.
I'm gonna break it down for you right now. Fake narrative,
All
because we can go back to Detroit when they played the Pistons, and I forgot what year, 09, I think. Yeah, 09. They played Detroit. They were down.
All right, you ready for this? Here's a stat. Here's a stat that's cut and dry. Fourth quarter, LeBron's played in 27 career games in the NBA Finals. In the fourth quarter, he's averaged 8.7 points. In the fourth quarter, that's 4 shots. That's 4 buckets in the fourth quarter. That's the stats.
I don't even know if that's.
Go Google it. Go Google it. I'm gonna search Michael Jordan all time scoring finals fourth quarter. Michael Jordan averaged 9.8 points.
Okay, so 1 point
That's
more.
25. That's 25% more, because it's all about averages and efficiency with the LeBron.
All right, but that's okay. We're talking about one of the greatest scorers of all time. It's not the greatest scorer of all time.
No, the greatest scorer of all time.
He's supposed to do that, right?
But if you're saying that LeBron is the greatest player and one of the greatest scorers, and
he's one of the greatest scorers, and he's, to me, the greatest player of all time. But you just said that you knocked LeBron for having 8.7, and only had a less than a point than him.
No, more than a point.
All right, more than a point than him.
9.8.
Big drastic thing. Like that's not drastic. They're both great in the fourth. Both great. It's not like he's averaging 4. We're talking about the fourth quarter. It's a hard.
I mean, if they were that great, they would have won more than they lost, because there were so many games that they could have won that they folded and lost 6 and only won 4 out of all the 10.
You gotta, context matters. You got to look at the team that LeBron had with those teams that he lost. Outside of,
but see 11, how you have to create. It's always creating these narratives.
It's not a narrative for him. It's not a narrative. If I keep asking, if MJ was on the 2014 Miami Heat team, does he beat that Spurs team?
Here's the thing, though. LeBron on the Bulls, when Jordan had to be the alpha who scored more often than not, LeBron can't do that. Because so the argument is like Jordan could have had a shot. LeBron has no shot because he's not the alpha scorer. He didn't have a 20-point scoring partner.
I just refuse that, though. He was the alpha scorer because he led his team in every statistical category. So that's not true. He led his team.
If you have other players that are averaging over 20 points a game on your squad, that means you have another elite scorer on your team. Jordan's never had that in the finals. Never.
And yet he still leads his team in every statistical category, even scoring, even with those other 20-point scoring guys.
So stats are more important than winning and losing, right?
No, the difference is MJ, that was his job. His job was to put the ball in the bucket. Yeah. LeBron had more to do. He couldn't just worry about scoring, because if he worried about just scoring, they were going to lose no matter what. He had to get his guys involved. He had to rebound.
Let's see how many.
He had to assist. He had to do everything. MJ did not have the same responsibilities, but nobody answers my question when it comes to, if MJ is in the same spot, does he win those finals? I don't believe. Only one that he wins.
He's 11. Never played with another person who could score anywhere in the stratosphere of him, and MJ is the best scorer. And if MJ played now, he averaged 37 points per game in the 80s, he would average 40 points a game in today's NBA.
Because he was in a league where That's what it was. He didn't go against guys that were scoring 20 points a game. You keep saying what
I'm talking about teammates that had 20 points a game. He went against the top scorers in the league sometimes. What are you talking about? He went against multiple MVPs in the finals.
But not as much as LeBron. That's my point.
Where?
LeBron's going against 3 top 20-point scorers. MJ's going against 1 or 2 max.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any 20-point scorers, and LeBron has minimum at least 1.
Because it's the league that he has to. If the league, my point is, if the league was the same as LeBron as MJ, if LeBron played in a league where there wasn't as many 20-point scorers, then LeBron would be the only 20-point scorer. But he's in a league where everybody's scoring 20 points. So
now you're just like going against like what you're saying, because you're saying that like even if you're not a 20-point scorer, you could be good back then because there wasn't that many people that did it.
No, I'm saying MJ was good enough to be the only top scorer on the main responsibility. Other teams had 1 20-point, 25-point scorer. So
but it's one main responsibility. Like how many points per game? How many assists and rebounds did like Scottie Pippen have compared to like Jordan? Like we're acting like it's like astronomical. I'm sure it's like a couple here and there.
But still, that was a responsibility that Scottie did. LeBron had to take on more.
I know, but you're acting like MJ never passed the ball. You're acting like he never got rebounds. You're acting like he never got steals or anything like that. Like that's what it sounds like, because LeBron had to do so much. He never averaged 11 and 10 assists a game or 10 rebounds a game. He's never averaging that.
He's averaged 11 assists or 10 assists for a game with the Lakers a couple years ago.
Okay, like probably in one of their losing seasons, I'm assuming.
He's averaged a triple-double for the playoffs and the finals.
Oh my gosh, I doubt that.
MJ ever do that?
I mean, that just sounds fake right there, because no.
Go ahead.
That never happened.
Check it out. Check it out.
Let's see. And what year was this?
2018.
Okay, yeah. So the year that they lost. Okay, yeah. But the year with no Kyrie. That was the year with no Kyrie, right?
No Kyrie.
Okay, yeah.
So he had
cool. In a losing season, like I mean, cool. If that's like that's the stats though. Like that's why stats are more important than winning and losing though. And even though like Jordan has better stats, you pull a stat from a losing season when they were the front runner and should have won.
But that's not fair to LeBron. That's not fair.
He got locked down by Andre Ilgauskas, who became the Finals MVP for locking him down. He also
didn't have Kyrie that year. He also didn't have Kyrie that series.
That's fine, but Ilgauskas locked down LeBron and became the Finals MVP, guarding LeBron one-on-one.
I'm so glad you said that, because that's the craziest thing in the world. LeBron.
That's how good LeBron is. That if someone can stop him, that they win the Finals MVP. So tell me when Jordan has anybody who's ever locked him down to where they've won a Finals MVP on them. Like, just tell me that.
This is LeBron's stats that Andre locked down in 2015. 35.8. 13 rebounds and 8 assists. Yeah. But he got locked down.
But he didn't have Kyrie, so he needed to score more. That's the point. He couldn't step up because there's no Kyrie. Contracts were getting too heavy. That's why they had to move Kyrie.
But he averaged 35, 13, and 8. That's not stepping up.
I mean, you're going it's good, but it wasn't good enough to win. It wasn't good enough to win.
For him to even get 2 wins was an accomplishment.
But he got figured out, and then they lost 4 in a row. They figured him out, and then he lost 4 in a row.
Okay, because they were the better team.
No, Andre Ilgauskas was the better player.
That's
nonsense. He slowed him down. No matter how you slice it, He was the most dominant offensive player who should have went for like 40. He couldn't
I'm
because
sorry, that's not.
Iguodala locked him down.
Steph Curry deserved the MVP. We all know that. Andre played well in that series. He sure played well. He deserved a lot of the credit. But as far as locking LeBron down is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
So then
When
why did
he
he win
averaged
finals
35,
MVP?
13,
Why did
and
he
8?
win finals MVP then?
Because they lost.
No. Why did Iguodala, why did he get the
The
finals
reason
MVP?
why Andre won, they gave it to him, is because Steph started that series off horrible. If you remember, they started those first 3 games. Steph was horrible. What's his name was locking him down. Dylan Dadova, whatever his name was locking him up, and then from then on, then he started playing a lot better. But Andre Iguodala came in game 3 or 4. I think it was game 4.
It was game 3.
Started playing better in game 4, and that's when Steph started playing better. The whole team started playing better.
Because LeBron was getting locked down more. That's why he was getting locked down more. And William, hold on real quick. William, thanks for the super chat. He said, I think what's missing is the defense that LeBron plays in critical moments.
Say that again.
He said, I think what's missing is the defense that LeBron plays in critical moments.
Is that?
So I think he's just saying like because you're talking about has to do more. I don't know if that was like him saying that LeBron has to do more because he has to play more defense than Jordan did in the critical moments or whatever. I'm not. That's what I assume though.
Okay. I'm not sure which angle he's going, so I'm not going to respond because I'm not sure which angle he's going with it.
Yeah.
But I just think.
And Jody's laughing at you. I don't know why. Put it in while you're laughing, Jody.
Jody's always laughing.
I feel like Jody's on my side on this. I don't think he's on your side.
Yeah, that's my guy, Jody. That's my guy from Twitter. I just think that's just a false narrative. The reason why they lost is because one, Kyrie was injured. 2, Kevin Love wasn't playing great in that series. The Warriors played better in that series, but LeBron still played great. You can't say he didn't play great when you averaged 35, 13, and 8. Name me somebody that averages that outside of the greats.
Not a lot, but I guess I don't get it because all of these teams are all his doing. The coaches are all his doing. The top players are all his doing. Pretty much every move that is ever made is his doing. And it's led to 10 finals, more than anybody we could really think about. But he still also lost more than he won.
Right. He sure did. But he's also brings teams that don't deserve to be there because of how great he is. And people don't give him credit for that. People don't
but losing to a good team or even a great team doesn't make you the greatest of all time, though.
I'm not saying that does. I'm just saying people don't give him credit for doing it. Bringing a team
it's when it's said that makes him the greatest, because people will say 10 finals appearance, 8 in a row or whatever it was, that makes him the greatest.
I don't think that alone makes him a greatest. I think going to 8 is a part of his greatness. Going to 10 finals is a part of his greatness. I don't think it's the reason why he's the greatest. That's not my argument. It's a bunch of shit. It's a
even what B said right here. He said there's only one team that he ever took to the finals that didn't deserve to be there. That's what needs to be said, because all of those teams except the 2007, those are all with big time players.
I keep saying the 2018 team.
But he still had Kevin Love. They had to move Kyrie because of the contracts.
No, Kyrie could have been there. He wanted out. He left. He wanted his own team. That's why Kyrie wasn't in.
Shit about Kevin Love. Kevin Love was a 20 point, like a walking double for the longest time. That's why he teamed up with them.
Okay, but think about this. I keep saying you got to put it in context. Kyrie is not there. Okay, now you're talking about just LeBron and Kevin Love as the all-stars on that team. Now you are going against, in 2018, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson,
No, we're talking about
Draymond
not
Green,
deserving to be there,
and
though.
KD.
We're talking about not deserving to be there, not who they played. You said that he took teams that didn't even deserve to be there.
That 2018 team did not deserve to be there. They were a fourth seed or third seed, something like that. They weren't that good. That was the team that switched everything in mid-year when I believe what's his name was on the team, Dwayne Wade, D Rose, and all that. In mid-season, they changed everything.
They were a 50-win team. Like you're acting like they were trash. They were a 50-win team. The highest record in the East was 59. 59, 55, 52, 50. They were amongst the top 4 teams, and 50 wins isn't a scrub team.
They weren't a scrub team, but because of LeBron. If LeBron's not all right, when LeBron
only 2 teams in the East only had over 50 wins. I mean, in the West, only 2 teams in the West that year only had over 50 wins.
Right. But my point, the West is harder. That's different.
Well, hey, you said it, not me. That's why you got there. That's why you got there.
But people act like the East isn't hard. That's the knock that people got to not do. Yes, the West is more competitive, but
I mean, it's professional sports. Of course, it's hard. But it's professional sports. Of course, it's hard.
Absolutely. So, but my point is, they weren't the favorite to get out of the East that year, and they got there because of LeBron.
Yeah, but the number 1 seed doesn't represent each conference every single year. Like that's
no, absolutely. Like, my point though is they had the odds stacked against them, and they still got it done.
I mean, the Warriors weren't even the best team in the West that year. It was the Rockets who had like 7 more wins. The Rockets had like 65 wins that year in a tougher conference.
My point isn't the record. My point is that they had less talent on the team that year, and they still got there.
Yeah.
That's my point. And people don't give him credit for being good. And then look at his playoff run. It's one of the greatest playoff runs.
You keep saying one of the greatest, but like, man, Jordan has the most like finals. Like, doesn't he have like the best like finals and playoff like percentage for like wins and wins and losses? I know in the finals he does, maybe not in the playoffs, but like these teams that you keep saying are not that good, which they're not the best teams in the league. Like once Jordan became the best, he just kept making the team the best. That's what greatness is. Not being this underdog who's had this crazy Cinderella like story. He was the greatest in the league. His team was the best in the league. That's what greatness is. Not being good and making it and losing. It's about being dominant and being great all the time. And when he got there, it didn't stop except the 2 years that he retired.
That's not true because
MJ 91 through 98, except for the 2 years that he retired, he only went to the finals, only won the finals, won the MVP like 4 times out of those 6 years.
MJ was getting knocked out of the playoffs early in his career when he was already considered to be the greatest player ever.
Okay.
And it took until having
but that has nothing to do with what I said though.
On his team in order for him to win championships.
That has nothing to do with what I said, because what I said is once Jordan won, he never stopped. He was always the greatest on the greatest team, won the championships, dominated, game switches. That's the difference between being the greatest and being really good.
LeBron can never be 6-0 like MJ.
He can't be. No, you can't say that because he can't be. He lost his first one.
Absolutely. LeBron can never be 6-0. But I don't believe that because you are 6-0 and you are the greatest at the time, always makes you the greatest of all time. That doesn't make, in my opinion, that doesn't
what makes him the greatest? Like, let's hear it. Like, boil it down. I've already given a bunch of accolades. The greatest
player to me is because he can do it all. And he's done it since he was 18 years old in the league.
Magic could do it all, though.
2 years old, and he's still moving the needle.
He didn't win though. He hasn't won in years.
He's got
So why
4
even
championships.
mention now?
People act like he doesn't have 4 championships. He's got 4 championships, won 3 with 3 different teams. No one's never.
But how's that make him greater than Jordan? That's what I'm saying. How's that make him greater?
His play, I just said it. Everything I just said, plus his career stats, makes him better than Jordan. He had.
But what about his career stats makes him better? No,
he had more on his plate than Jordan. He has been the most scrutinized player in sports history. Forget just NBA, sports history.
Since he was to do with the time that he came into the league, and you said you can't knock him for the opportunity. You said that you can't knock him for the opportunity, so you have to not. So you can't knock him for being the most hated when he grew up in a social media era.
But I just think that the knock is there's no other
but you still haven't said what makes him greater, because you said like he doesn't have 4 championships. Jordan has 6. Like he doesn't have 3 MVPs.
Yeah, but he's also
100%. LeBron doesn't even have 100% MVP
first in every playoff, almost every playoff stat.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if you lose. Like, how's it make you the greatest if you lose?
That's the wrong narrative. That's what we have to
stop.
No,
we're talking greatest of all time, not the really good of all time. Greatest, the number one. The number one.
This is what people do is they put if you won and if you didn't lose, you must have been the greatest. That's BS.
How is it not? The greatest win. The greatest win. The best, they win. It can't be this narrative that you are the greatest when you keep losing more than you win.
All right, but he's also had more opportunities to win than MJ.
Yeah, that makes it worse because he hasn't won as much and he's had more opportunities. That doesn't make it better. That makes it worse.
I keep telling you that we have to put context into why he lost.
The context doesn't matter. The context is kind of just an excuse. Like if it's not because MJ was the greatest team, and that's why he was there. So how is that context like totally overlooked when he was the greatest?
MJ is the greatest. Why didn't he win when he was known to be the greatest? Those years without Scottie Pippen, Phil Jackson, Rodman, and all that. He was
because literally everybody needs time to learn, including LeBron. Everybody needs time to learn. And LeBron needed D-Wade way more than Jordan needed Scottie because Scottie was a 2nd-round draft pick. And LeBron, D-Wade, and Chris Bosh were a part of the first team with 3 max contracts on it ever. Most of the players that MJ played with are Hall of Famers that are ahead of most of the players that. Well, LeBron is still, and a lot of his players are still playing and not even eligible for the Hall of Fame right now because they're still playing, literally. Only Kyrie and AD. Those are the only 2 left. Okay. Jordan only has Pippen, so. That's BS. He has Rodman. He has Oakley. He has Steve Kerr. He won without Rodman. You realize that, right? He won 3 without Rodman. Right. And then he also won another 3 with him. Yeah. You know, he recruited him. He went and got him. Nobody wanted Dennis Rodman. Nobody wanted him. He was a head case. He literally almost messed it up. Jordan was good enough to earn his respect. LeBron's never been good enough to earn anybody's respect. MJ requested Rodman. That's the same thing. You need great players. So are you saying that, like, can you just answer me this? How many teams in the NBA wanted Rodman on their team, including the team that he was on? That's not the point. The point is that MJ wanted it. MJ, not anybody else in the league. And LeBron's done this how many times? But him doing it for one player, one time, it doesn't add up to Kyrie, Bosh, to D-Wade, to Kevin Love, to AD, to Luka. It does not add up to that. It does because the point is that they need great players.
He knew.
Yeah, but that doesn't make LeBron the greatest, and it doesn't make Jordan not the greatest. That point
MJ
doesn't make Jordan not the
second
greatest.
all time. But LeBron is the greatest to me because he can do it in every facet. Yeah, he lost 6 finals, but when you look
What do you mean every facet? Explain to me
everything. He can do it all.
But explain what all is.
Whatever you need him to do, he can do it. And
well, Jordan did that, but he won 100% and won 100% finals MVPs. So how is that not the same thing for Jordan? Because he did what was asked of him and he won.
But the difference is when I say that, I'm not never knocking MJ for what he did.
I'm not knocking LeBron, but this is like who's the greatest of all time that we're talking about.
Absolutely.
And you're not saying what makes LeBron the greatest of all time.
I've said it multiple times. You just disagree. We're going to agree to disagree.
No, but like you're not going to anything cut and dry. You said that LeBron is the greatest because he could do it all and did what was asked of him. Jordan did the same thing and he won 100%.
He did not. That's not true.
He went 6 for 6. That's what I'm talking about. 6 for 6. Talk about the finals wins that LeBron's done.
The go-to.
10. He's 3 for 4 on MVP.
The go-to is 6-0. That's not the only requirement to be great. That's not. Rings are not.
But you're not telling me what makes LeBron greater.
Because he won. He's done it all in all facets. But
what's the all facets though? Explain the all facets.
Okay. I'm saying points, rebounds, assists, blocks, everything. That's everything. He can shoot.
Well, he didn't have more points than Jordan, so I don't know why you keep saying like he had more points than the people on his team and the people that he went against more often than not. But Jordan also did the same thing and was at a way higher level and percentage of what he was actually doing scoring wise.
Jordan had one responsibility. Not that he could not do those other things. I'm not knocking him for that. I'm saying the reason why he was scoring so much is because that was his responsibility and he was great at it. That's what he had to do. LeBron,
it's like that saying though, jack of all trades, master of none.
Basically what I'm saying is LeBron did more with less.
He didn't have less. Like that's the thing that I don't get. He didn't have less. He actually had more. And he actually chose his fate.
He did.
He did have more. Because he didn't win without D Wade. He didn't win without Bosh. He didn't win without Ray Allen.
He did win without Wade. He won
later. But
he won.
Yeah, he could not win without D Wade because he did not win until he had D Wade, Bosh, and Ray Allen. That's what I'm saying. You're saying he couldn't win until Pippen. That's one player. There's 3 Hall of Famers or 3 potential 2 Hall of Famers for sure.
He just named all of the guys that he had on the team. Plus Phil Jackson.
I'm talking about literally their first championship, though. The first championship LeBron won, he had D Wade, he had Bosh, he had Ray Allen. That's 2 Hall of Famers right there. Jordan had Pippen on that first one. Who else is like such an amazing player that they're going to make the Hall of Fame on that 91 Bulls team?
Scottie Pippen in the Hall of Fame. Horace Grant, Hall of Fame. Bill Cartwright, Hall of Fame. John Jackson.
These are all the plumbers, though, that people are talking about. And if they didn't have 3 championships because of Jordan, they wouldn't even be there. Horace Grant would be no. What championship did Horace Grant win outside of the Bulls?
That's not the point.
It is though, because Jordan made them Hall of Famers.
And LeBron did the same for everyone else.
No, he didn't. D Wade won years before LeBron got there.
And didn't win after that.
Yeah, but according to you, he was washed up when LeBron left. Why would he win?
All right, but he wasn't going to win another championship until LeBron got there.
Okay.
Right? Can we agree on that? So
Yeah.
that's the same thing.
It's
LeBron,
not though,
they
because you know
need
what? It took
they
Bosch
needed each
and they
other. That's
lost.
the
They
point.
lost. They
Great.
lost year one. It took them getting Ray Allen.
That's the only knock that you have is that
It's not a
that I
no, that's
accept.
not the only knock.
It's the
I
only
just
one that
said
I
two Hall
accept.
of Famers that LeBron's playing with right there. But
Wait,
you
no,
guys downplay him and talk about Horace Grant and Bill Cartwright, how great they were in the
hold
NBA.
on, because I'm not even sure if Chris Bosh is a Hall of Famer.
Chris Bosh averaged 20 points a game before he went to the Heat. He was a walking double-double. Go look at his stats with the Raptors before he went there.
Right, he was a great player, absolutely. But that's my point. You
Top
need
player.
great
He's one of the
players.
top players in the NBA.
My point is, if you're going to win, you need great players. MJ was never going to win.
MJs were drafted and LeBrons were manufactured. That's the point, and that we're not like getting. Was Scottie Pippen not drafted?
LeBron wasn't the only one that was responsible for that deal. Dwayne Wade was responsible.
Yeah.
The GM Mike Pat Riley.
Yeah. But we're talking about LeBron calling all the shots and being the greatest. Those guys aren't the greatest.
Right.
That's not even close, according to the LeBron fans.
But
even though D Wade's a Hall of Famer,
LeBron has moved the needle for the longest time. He's been great.
But why is it bad for Jordan to move the needle?
Huh?
Why is it bad for Jordan to move the needle?
I'm never saying that he didn't. See, you keep saying that, and I'm not saying.
But you're saying Pippen and Horace Grant, like those guys who were like drafted by the Bulls, is like he needed these guys to go win. He didn't get anybody to go Rodman.
Pippen wasn't drafted by the Bulls. He was drafted by Portland. He got traded to the Bulls.
How long did he play in Portland? He was a second-round draft pick. How long did he actually play in Portland? And we got to get ready to wrap this up. I didn't even know it was 5 o'clock.
Yeah. We've been going for a minute.
But you still didn't tell me. And you still didn't tell me how LeBron was the greatest. I think I gave so many different reasons on why Jordan was the most dominant and was the greatest player on the greatest team for like an entire decade.
I believe that MJ was the greatest scorer of all time. No question. Can't knock him. Greatest scorer of all time. But as far as greatest basketball, we're talking about not just scoring, not just winning. We're talking about everything. Everything gets accounted for that. And
but what makes someone the greatest? That's what we'll leave this off on. You tell me what makes someone the greatest without mentioning LeBron, without mentioning Jordan. What makes someone the greatest of all time?
For me, this is my requirement. You win. You check all the boxes. Meaning you can score, you can pass, you can rebound, you can shoot, you can play defense. All those things, that matters. LeBron checks every box at a higher level than MJ does. MJ checks the box as far as he won more rings, and scored better than LeBron. But everything
he's got way more defensive accolades, though. Way more defensive accolades.
LeBron clears him in everything else but winning the rings and scoring. But everything else, it's not even close. And that's why I believe LeBron is the greatest, because he can check every box at every level, at a higher level that MJ can. MJ was great. I am not discounting how great MJ was. MJ could do all those things at a high level. I'm not taking that away from him. But I believe that LeBron can do it at a higher level. And he's doing it, again, at, I think, longevity. People knock him for that. But I count it because when Jordan was scoring 40 or 50 points, scored a 40 or 50 point points when he was 40 with the Wizards, everybody went crazy. LeBron's doing that still at 41, going into 42 years old, and everybody's It's nothing. The man is averaging over 20 points for his whole career, and people just, oh, that's nothing. Oh,
I mean, everyone, the whole narrative about Jordan to the Wizards is that he was a joke. So let's start there. I mean, yes,
no,
were
I
people
don't believe
excited?
that.
But like in
Jordan was great.
1998, when he really retired for the second time, was Jordan the greatest player in the NBA at that time?
And when he was 40?
No, in 1998, his last season when he completed his three-peat, was he the greatest player in the NBA just playing at
absolutely.
the
Of
time?
course he was.
Okay.
Of course he was.
When's the last time you could say LeBron was the greatest player in the NBA?
2 years ago.
Okay.
After 20 years.
But he's still losing, though. Like, Jordan was on the most dominant team that won.
Think about what you just said. The most dominant team. LeBron has never had the most dominant team. He went up against
because he's not the greatest. Because he's not the greatest. Because if he
LeBron
was, he would have the most dominant team
than MJ did.
Yeah, because you know why? Because MJ made them not dominant. Because he was more dominant.
No,
LeBron is not more dominant. That's why he didn't make his team more
dominant. They just weren't as dominant teams at that time. They weren't as the talent wasn't the same.
Yeah, except he went up against MVPs like Charles Barkley and Karl Malone in the finals. LeBron's never gone up against an MVP.
LeBron knocked those MVPs on the way to the finals.
No, he's only faced D Rose, so that's only one.
Let me see, because he's got
it is, but we got to go. We're gonna leave it on that. We'll agree to disagree.
Great conversation, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna get more. And for everyone who's following the drafts, probably not gonna be live right when the draft starts, but we'll be live shortly after. All right. Shout out just what your YouTube is.
Appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate all the comments. I agree to disagree with all you guys. It's all love at the end of the day. I got no beef with nobody that loves MJ more than LeBron. I have no beef with it, but I love the conversation. It's just something to do. I have something. This is a conversation that's never going to end. It's going to last forever, so it's just fun to have it. So.
All right, we're out. I'll see you guys shortly. Peace out.
Peace.